Welcome to the two grumpy men, C. Grooms and Bobby May in the building.
Oh yeah, what's going on, my brother? How you been?
Man, shit,
Good.
everything is good. At this time of the year, we always do the election special, whether it's a
Mhm.
2 year joint or the 4 year. This
Mhm.
just happens to be the presidential. Here we are having that discussion that most people don't want to have, because of cognitive dissonance or just blocking out things that don't go with the talking points. It's a
Mhm.
lot of debating going on.
Mhm.
Some real hard party lines that's being
Been
drawn.
drawn.
Like
Oh yeah.
it's real out here, and
Oh
then
yeah.
it's kind of strange, to be in the middle, like literally.
Mhm.
I'm an independent candidate, and
Me as well.
and I wasn't voting for Republican or Democrat, no matter what. There was a time though, maybe like about 5 months ago, where
Mhm.
I was thinking, I was like, well, I don't really know who the Democrats are gonna, push forward, right?
Mhm.
But they always my least favorite choice. If you got
Mhm.
besides a write-in, I could always write in something,
Mhm.
but I didn't know who they was gonna push forward. So
Mhm.
they Harris and her camp, she's in the White House already as the VP. It
Mhm.
seems like when Biden was kind of like pushed out, like,
Mhm.
oh, your health is fading, you stumbling, bumbling, you
Mhm.
need to just fall back. It seems like they deboed their way to the front of the line. There was no process,
Mhm.
as to who was going to be the nominee. They just like made it her. It's like
So
there was no primary for that.
so a couple things on that.
Hmm.
Now they've had to know all along that his health was an issue. Like you had to know that. Like you had to know that his health was an issue. But he started making, I guess, crucial errors in his speech and the things he was saying. And then that's when they won. All of a sudden, you seen them want to switch to like, oh, they're going to go with the VP. But again, like you just said, it was never a process for her to be nominated. So that in itself already was a red flag for me, and that bothered me
Hmm.
because you're taking the people's choice away by that. And the people that say, oh, well, she was on the ticket already with Biden, yeah, as the VP, not as president. She tried that before, and she got 1% and had to leave the race in 2020,
Right.
right?
Right.
So she didn't fare well the last time. She didn't fare well the last time. But now you're going to elude the process to push her forward. That's a problem. Because, right, see, my problem is it has been this whole time is the fact that right there, she wasn't nominated. They didn't give the people a choice. Drew, now that opens up the door to trampling over the process and trampling over people's rights.
Right.
Because now, people just don't want to see that. Like they don't see that. They eager to go along with something because they hate the other person. Let's just put it.
Question though. Let me ask you a question. So,
Mm.
what do you have any like some inside knowledge on what the process actually is to have a presidential nominee from the party? Like, how does that usually work? Because we see it when people put in their name to run for president, and we hear that as it goes along. But
Mm.
what is that real process? I know it's filling out paperwork and getting
Yeah,
your
that's
name.
the light part of it, but
That's the
the
light part.
process the process of it is getting nominated by doing the primaries and all these things and winning those to be able to push forward to go to your convention to be the nominee for your party. That's when your party agrees, all of them agree, and they nominate you to represent the party. So,
Right, especially after Biden was at first he was
but
going to
it was
run.
only, but they told you this in August. The fucking election was in fucking is in
Right, that's what I'm getting at.
So
Exactly.
that's only 3 months. So you
Right.
put the heat on people. Like you put the heat on people and with scared politics and telling them that we gonna go with her. When you could have been already grooming somebody else 2 years ago for this position because y'all didn't do that with her because
Absolutely.
she's
Absolutely.
she's not polished, you know. So I mean, people can take it how they want to take it, but she's not polished. Like I don't care what you most of you are scared of the next nigga, so you don't care what they put in front of you. Like you don't
As
care
long as
what
it
they
ain't
put, as
him.
long as it ain't him. And so but it's even though you made it, you still gotta respect the process because the process. And once they start trampling over your rights, you open the doors for them to continually do this type of shit. You understand?
Exactly. Yep.
So 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 now if the foot was on the other if this was on the other side and there was Republicans doing it, people would be in an uproar, right? They would because trust me, they may do this next time and they're gonna be like, oh well, you did it, so we're gonna do it too. That's what you start leading to. We could change our mind in the last hour and we want to go with this person instead because they're gonna run with the plan that we want.
Right.
That's
That
the
was
problem.
weird. The whole did it in
Yeah,
August. You know what
the
I'm
whole
saying?
shit,
Yeah.
the whole shit is weird. Like, and then you're saying that okay, we it's all you cool with this. Like, and now, and this was the thing. Now this is another thing.
Mm.
When this happened, remember the LGBTQ community. They was about to make an uproar because they were saying the same thing. There was no process and there was no nomination. She was not, go through no primaries or anything for the people. And as soon as they said that they was going to make uproars about that shit, boom, they got a meeting. Next thing you know, they saying they good with it. Everything good.
They good with no process. Right.
They good with it. They, because they've been obviously they have been they've been told or actually are getting something for their vote to make sure that this shit that they back this. You know what I mean? And don't make no noise about it because we're gonna still keep the same agenda for you guys and blah 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 whatever and push forward. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's cool and that's my whole point. That's cool because everybody if you want people's vote, there need to be something behind it. There need to be something behind that group's vote to say that you want to earn their vote. But here we are.
Right.
But our community, no, we don't do that. Everybody else wants something for their shit, or they don't want nothing because they don't fuck with the process, right? But
Now,
if you
when was the
want,
primary though? When it should have been? Because I know the Democratic
shit was
convention.
all summer.
The
I
shit was
mean,
all
the
something, right?
shit was going on all from maybe like in the spring or whatever fuck it was
But
to
they made their announcement that Biden wasn't going to run no more. So they
in
dropped
July,
the
like
in
end of
July.
July, early
Right.
August.
So the primaries is done.
Pretty much, yeah, because he already was like wrapped up. He wasn't going against nobody. Nobody was running against
Yeah,
him.
exactly. And she couldn't run against him because they in office together. Like it wouldn't, and he could have been up for re-election, but that's where the politics comes in. Like you
They're the
need to
same
step
party.
aside.
Why would you sabotage it? You
Yeah,
already did.
exactly. Y'all could just go back on the same ticket, but that's where they push him aside. Like your health, your age, all of that stuff, and the primaries is done. Nobody was running against you. Say, oh, well, she's already here, so let's push her forward. And then we get to the national convention, and then they
How much? How much?
officially announce her.
How much of the issue with his son do you think played a role in him stepping down?
I think the issue with his son played a huge role because for basically for 3.5 years, even prior to getting into office, there was a denial that there was any illegal dealings going on with his son in other countries. So, that was already out there. But now, fast forward as time went on, so that means everything that Trump said about Biden's son was actually factual, but nobody really wanted to fact check that to see that if it was, but it turned out to be true that, his son was making $1 million deals and using that office for power and things of that nature. Then later on, when his son, pled guilty to the charges or whatever, and it's like, yo, wow, they dropped the bombshell. All right, he pled guilty. That kind of got swept under the rug. You ain't really hear nothing about that. Not really.
Nope.
Not because at that time the health was fading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's going to step out. Mm-hmm. Son pleads guilty. Here comes, they push Harris. She comes into the front. She's already in the White House, so they push her to the front and make her the front runner, right? So okay. Mm-hmm. I guess, damn, that was kind of quick. It went boom, boom, boom. Like you said, within the 90 days to the election, and you pull this shit. So, it was a lot to absorb, and there was a lot to think about. But, not for me per se as a member of a party, but just as a citizen, as a person who's watching the process. And, government is supposed to have oversight. And see, this is a problem, and throughout history, what people are going to learn is that if you don't play your position as a citizen and a person that's part of the republic and make them accountable, they will step over the line and take your constitutional rights, even threaten to take things that are rightfully yours, your birthright, your Social Security that you worked your whole life for. All of these things is up for debate. And now all the talking points are geared around, women's issues, whether it's Roe v. Wade, on abortion, what states can do that.